Hello and welcome to the show. We are here on Dirt 4 today, going to be having a go at a Rallycross event because they are, well, normally brilliantly chaotic, and I haven't done a video on one yet. So, yeah, here we go. We are going to be heading to the one track that I don't really know from this lot. Of course, Linden Hill, driven around it plenty in various games. Hell is also a track I know relatively well, along with the Swedish layout, all from Dirt Rally. I did do I was testing the game out. I did play around with the France area also. So the only track of this lot that I haven't actually visited before is the one in Portugal. I don't think it's in Dirt Rally. If it is, I don't remember ever driving it or. Yeah, so it's going to be a new track to me, and this is to try and make it more of a challenge for me, because the AI are sadly a little bit easy when it comes to the Rallycross event. So if I go to a circuit that I've never driven before, then maybe we will get an interesting challenge. There are, for all of these circuits, there are shorter layouts. Some of them have 3 or 4 layouts. This one here apparently has only got 2. We can have Diddy Clubman circuit, or we can have the full, it's not exactly long circuit, the full layout. But there are more corners to worry about, and there's actually dirt to worry about in the long layout, so that is where we will be naturally heading to. We will have some nice clear weather, I think, to be dealing with. Now, as far as vehicles to run in Rallycross events, you have the RX supercars in all of their crazy glory. You have the RX2 sort of Fiesta Superlights that are an interesting little thing. The Super 1600s, which are, again, great fun to go racing with. But what we are going to focus on, you can have the cross carts as well around here. We are going to be using the Group B vehicles that were converted to Rallycross, because after the end of Group B, essentially, a lot of these cars made their way into Rallycross, as, you know, that was a place that they could be used, essentially. So we have a choice of the Delta S4, the Ford RS200 Evolution, the 205 T16, and the Metro 6R4. Now, with your sensible hat on, you would get, well, probably the 205. Really, the most power of the lot. Not quite the lightest, but it is, yeah, a little bit more powerful than the Delta. Interestingly, did the Delta at Rallycross not have a supercharger as well? Because when you look at the Delta S4 and the normal Group B, it says turbo and supercharger like you would expect. Maybe they never twin-charged it. Maybe they weren't allowed to for Rallycross. However, for this, I want to go for the crazy option, which has to be the Metro. The Metro is just a silly car, so that is what we're going to be using. It's a shame that they don't have kind of the official liveries on these sort of cars, but I think that one there might be a proper livery that was run. The rest are just sort of fictional ones. But we will grab that and go, because I'm fairly sure that's a real car. Don't know about that one. But yeah, getting licensing for sort of these cars and so on is a little bit more difficult. We are going to go and grab the Metro. We are going to head to Portugal and try and win a Rallycross event. So, in case you have no idea how a Rallycross works, there are a selection of heats. There are 4 of them to be running through. We go through 4 qualifying rounds, and based on your overall finish, so the time that it takes for you to complete the 4 laps, you will be assigned points. So you can win your heat, but still come like 6th or 7th overall, or you can come second in your heat, and you could end up second overall, and so on and so forth. There's all sorts of different possibilities. My aim is to try and get into the top half of the field. That'll get you into the semi-finals, get in the top 3 of the semi-finals, and you'll make it into the final and try and win that one, basically. There is the Joker lap, where we must go around. In this place, it's kind of like a big Monster Energy can. We have to go around that once during the race. We can do it on the first lap, or we can do it on the final lap. As long as we do, if we don't take the Joker lap, you will be given a penalty. I have driven the Rallycross supercars. I have no idea, though, how these Group B Rallycross vehicles will drive. I'm expecting them to be on the utterly bonkers side. It's not a great start for my 6R4. Where are they going? So one of the cars has got into the Joker lap. We're going to throw it up the inside. Okay, we'll go around that bit there. Didn't know. I was just following the barrier. This is going to be a little bit of a learning experience for me. Learn the car, learn the track, try and learn the track as quickly as possible. Try and not follow the Delta. Looks like he's going for a spin. So far, I'm actually quite liking this track. The French circuit I wasn't massively impressed by. It's pretty much all tarmac, fairly straightforward. fairly straightforward layout. We're going to end up at... Oh, it's going to be door to door. We're bouncing off the barriers, but we are through. Hey, we are in third place. I think we have dealt with the Delta. I don't know where on earth to brake for turn 1. I've managed to lock the rears going into there as well, which isn't helping matters. Slide the Metro out of the corner. Oh god, he's actually got a little bit more speed than me coming through this kind of... These are nasty corners down here, these sort of wiggly sections. Trying to make sure you maintain speed and maintain control of the car. Out, thank you. Thank you for the assistance on the inside there. I might spin it on the big old... These curves are also very, very vicious. Don't try to hook your wheel on top of them and help that drags you around. I'm not sure that's really a viable strategy. This is literally just left, then right, left, then right, left, then right. Wiggle around on the dirt, and we're going to be slow out of that corner. We are going to have a lot more drive than the Delta, though. I wonder if he's broken his car. It's possible he's got damage on that vehicle, and that would explain why it was very, very slow coming out of the corner. He's tried sneaking back up the inside. Now, we have taken our Joker lap. Me and the pink and black Delta have taken our Joker laps. These guys are going to be doing it on the final lap, and it is a longer... kind of a longer route, so we definitely have the advantage, provided I don't cock it all up coming around these next couple of corners, which I have done a little bit there as we struggle and scrabble around trying to find some grip. Okay, now we don't maybe have as much of an advantage over the Metro as I would have liked because of a silly errors by me. Slow it down into turn 1 because he's going to get a very, very fast run out of the Joker. Oh, it's going to be very close. I gave him space because I was expecting him to fire up the inside of me, but didn't happen, and then we're managing to lock the rears. I still think he's somewhere on the inside, so try not to cause a big accident. We are okay, though. We are through all of that without very wide. Okay, let's just recover. We've got a couple of corners to go. I'm not going to do much down here because this is where I'm struggling a little bit. Yeah, I threw that one away. I thought he was firing up the inside, and he actually wasn't at the places where I thought he was. But second place in my heat, definitely. Oh, it's been a crunch after the end of the heat. 6th place overall. That's okay. It's okay. A couple of mistakes here and there. We can improve upon it. Going into the next round, I can't seem for the life of me to get good starts in these. I don't know what it is, but I just can never get off the line very well. We did a little bit of damage to our radiator, a little bit of damage to the dampers and so on. Nothing major, nothing's going to be particularly time-consuming. We even have plenty of time to go and clean the car. But I think the cleaning of the car is going to take longer than repairing the radiator in all of that one. So, yeah, it did. It was only a 46-second fix on the radiator. What did we do to it that could be fixed in 46 seconds? I'm not even sure. Did we just sort of cover it in dust? Is that what the mechanics were doing? They were just dusting the radiator off. Okay, we are going to be getting underway. Don't launch when the light goes out, launch when they go green. It's an easy mistake to make with some of these races. The other Metro has got off to a blinding start. We are going to go up the inside and fire ourselves straight into the Joker if we can stop the car, which we can, but we get a big oversteer moment. Oh, look who we're racing against again. That's an interesting coincidence. Oh, the two Metros have been far too busy fighting each other through that turn 1, and me and the Lancia have got a humongous advantage. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to get a Metro 1, 2, 3 here, does it? Does not look like that is going to be working. One of the Metros nearly rolled. I think he might have spun. No, he hasn't spun because he's still on the outside. Space. I could probably be more aggressive with my driving. For now, though, if it comes to the final, I'm sure we will be. For now, though, while I'm trying to learn the car and learn the track, I'm happy to be a polite and kind racing driver. And as I say that, we may end up firing up the inside by accident on someone if I get things wrong. I'm preferring a tighter line than the Delta is through that turn 1. I think the red Metro may well have gone through the Joker lap. Yes, he has. So he is off the tail of me, although as we're going to start fighting, may well slow us down. That's the downside of us both having done Joker lap early on, is that I'm now stuck in traffic. I was hoping we could have got through the Joker and been clear of the Lancia. There was definitely a gap at the inside. Not that once I got through there, he wanted to get off my rear quarter panel and actually let me have some steering back. That was not... Ooh, across the curb we go. That's all right. We're fine. We've got a lot of work to be doing here. Let's not lose any time. Not not sure. I don't think we've got the advantage. Again, I don't think we have the advantage in this one. Oh, last time it was because I lost control of the car going through the very, very fast corners. This time, we've had a big issue on the curve. These are some of the most vicious curves I've seen since Sunset Raceway in Forza 4. They are massive, massive curves that you just can't launch a car across. It's not so much that, the rally car won't survive it. Of course, it'll be fine. It deals with far worse jumps in a normal stage. But it's the time lost from the car wiggling around on its side. You saw the Delta had a terrible, terrible run onto the start-finish straight. We're going to fire our car at the inside. He's going to fire right back. I was trying to do at least attempt some clean racing, but he is happy just to bump his way through on the inside there. Ooh. We are driving a little bit too raggedly in many respects. It's going very, very sideways in the Peugeot, and that is not good for speed. Trying to be got to be a little bit smoother, I think, with this car. Need a little bit more. I say a little bit more luck. Need to get less battles early on. I think would be a good idea. That's another second place. Another second place in the heat. Getting the hang of the track. This actually might be one of the harder rallycross circuits I've driven. We were 4th overall there, though, so can't complain too much. The C heat was the other quick one. So we were 4th overall, but there was a big old gap between us and the other cars there, or the cars ahead of us, I should say. Yeah, this might actually be one of the nastiest rallycross circuits I've gone to. Linden Hill isn't that bad. Linden Hill really isn't that one bad to drive. The French one is very, very straightforward in many ways. I guess Hell can be quite mean in places, but yeah, I'm amazed we've only got bodywork and dampers. That's it for damage, considering there was a lot of bumping going on in that. Our little Metro is, apparently doing, holding together far better than a normal Metro, but then I guess the 6R4 doesn't really share anything other than a vague body shape with the normal Metro. Right, we are going to get underway. I so nearly launched as he did. I so nearly launched with the AI car when it went. If there is a jump start, the way it works in Rallycross is the offender has to take 2 trips through the Joker lap. They don't get a time penalty, they just have to do 2 Joker laps within the race, which will equate to a time penalty overall, because the Joker laps are longer than a normal lap. Another downside of the French circuit is the Joker lap is only like half a second at best longer than a normal lap, which is a little bit weird. The Metros are doing very, very well here at Rallycross. Oh, I should have dove down the Joker lap. See, that would have been a prime opportunity. I was expecting one of them too, but no one did. That would have been a prime opportunity to do a Joker lap, whoopsie, and get ourselves into some clean air. We're going to try to sneak up alongside. Not going to work there, is it? Maybe it will. Oh, there's a gap there. A little bit of rubbing. It's fine. You can get away with that in Rallycross. Well, that's the turn that I'm actually struggling for speed on. I'm trying to close the door. I did close the door. Closed the door, and the Razor car ended up in the barrier. Right. Are any of you cars going for the Joker lap? No, so I will. That's a really dangerous Joker lap. I've just realised how dangerous what I did there was, because I just threw my car up the inside of somebody that was trying to make the turn. That could have ended in disaster for both of us. They should have gone to the outside. Really, would have been the safer option. But there we go. Unfortunately, again, we're not likely to see a Metro 1, 2, 3, as it was the Metro that did the jump start. I quite like the AI, the way the AIs do make mistakes from time to time in these events, and not just, AIs won't finish a stage and so on, but they will make, silly jump starts. They will have spins on their own and that kind of thing. I'm not sure if I've actually got the pace to quite live with that 205. He's got to do his Joker lap next time around. But the Metro just did a Joker lap, and I've come out only fractionally ahead of him, and he was a lot closer to me than that 205 is. I think the 205 is going to run clear with this, unless we can suddenly find some magical... That turn there I am so bad at. I think I'm turning in too soon. I think that is the issue that that we are having. There's the 205 in the distance, travelling into the Joker lap. Now we've got to try and be brave into turn 1. Can we... Oh, he's going to be long gone out of there, isn't he? Because he's all the way down there already. Okay. Okay, we've got a challenge on our hands. I'm glad to see that, in all honesty. I'm glad to see somebody is going to at least be putting up a fight. Shame that I could not be a little bit closer towards the end of this. I've done exactly the same thing again. Taking a wonky line through that corner, bouncing off the curb. Keep the car pointing the right way. We are miles ahead of... That's a really spread out rallycross race. I say we were miles ahead, but we were fairly clear. We weren't under any threat from the car behind, and of course the jump starter would drop a fair way back. Only 6th overall. We're going to be good to make it into a kind of a decent enough final. Something in the 35s around there. We got a 38 on a good lap. We just got to stop messing around, running wide in places. Where's that going to put us overall? We're 5th overall. Okay, so we're going to be the top of kind of Heat 2 for this final qualifying round. I'm fine with that. If we can try and get a little bit better laps, if we can try and get, it's just going to be, oh wow, it's dampers and springs that are the problem. I guess springs being worn from a fair amount of abuse around a rallycross circuit is to be expected. Not that we've got any other damage, so plenty of time for repair work. Now, do we fire into the Joker lap off the start line? If nobody else does, I would like to, but you're not necessarily going to have time to know if anyone else is going to or not with the angle that you will approach this corner as we are off and underway. Are we going to get squeezed a little bit by the Delta? We are going to go for it, as is the Peugeot. We go for a big dive into the corner. We got it stopped. Wasn't sure if the Peugeot was going to. Oh, we've battled, but most importantly, we have battled our way through and we are out in the lead. So we are not going to get slowed down by the Peugeot. We're not going to get slowed down fighting the Peugeot. I'm sure I'm going to be able to find a way to slow myself down in all of the action. But the 2 other cars on track here that we are racing are also fighting each other. That is good news for me in terms of my position within this heat. The overall position, though, is, kind of more important, the overall finishing position. So I was hoping they were both going to take the Joker lap then. They haven't, and they've crashed into one another again. Are we in the Lancia heat? Have we got all Lancias apart from my lone Metro? It does look like that is the case here. Oh, a little bit of a lock-up. Recovered from it, thankfully. They're bouncing across the nasty curbs there. Now I can't see a thing. Guys, please go down the Joker lap this time around. I really don't want to have to fight you. Like, I've got a victory position. I say that we're just going to fire our car up the inside there, try and lose as little time as possible. I know I've got the big advantage in this one here, being in the mix already, with them not having taken their Joker lap at all. I'm just thinking of an overall time if we want to go for a good overall time. We're going to fire up the inside into turn 1. Is he going to try and cut back? I think he will. Is Lancia going to have the speed? No, he's also got other competition, other vehicles around him vying for position. I don't like that turn much either. That's a one to really go visiting the scenery. I'm going to brake a little bit more around some of these turns. I think a little bit slower on the way in would pay dividends, and that's more like it. That's the line that we want. A little wide on the apex, on the exit, but that'll work out nicer for me. Think we're getting the hang of it. There's a big old flight across the final corner as one of the Deltas gets up on 2 wheels. Now I guess we can really focus, go for a quick lap. Go for as fast a lap as possible. We've not really got any huge pressure. I just want to know what sort of lap times I am capable of in this car. Whether we're going to be able to be... I think we're going to be fighting in the main final. I think we can get to it. Of course, anything can happen in Rallycross, especially with the likelihood of bumps and shunts when there are 6 cars as opposed to 4 cars running around here. So, there's always that to take into consideration. We'll launch it. 2:39. I think that's about 2 seconds faster than we were doing before. Might be one of the faster times of the day. We'll wait and see if we won the stage overall, or the heat results we did. We were a second clear of the 2 205s. Looks like the top qualifiers from that. The Metros are doing well. I'm glad to see the Metros. The Fords are doing... Let's say the Fords are doing terribly. There are no Fords in here, so that would be why. Someone's got 12 seconds worth of penalties. How did you manage that one, Marsh? Don't know. That's a bit better showing. Second overall in terms of qualifying puts us in good stead going into the semi-finals. So top 3 from this 6-lap. I think it's going to be a 6-lap race unless anything has changed. We'll go through to the final. Can't afford to make any mistakes now. You can't get away with it. We've done a little bit of damage to our gearbox. Dampers a bit of damage. Bodywork. I don't know why there. I guess it could just be sort of general wear and tear on the gearbox. We did get bumped around a little bit, but nothing too terrible. Let's give the car a clean as well, just because we've got plenty of time to play with. And then we will be... I love how it was... Oh, sorry, it was 14 seconds to fix the bodywork. That was it. I'm fairly sure we came in with a lot more dents and bumps than 14 seconds worth of fixing. Again, it's the dust, isn't it? They're doing a light dust over a panel in 14 seconds. We are going to be starting on the front row here. We have got... the cars will try and fire themselves up the inside of us. We will have the best run into turn 1. Potentially, I'm trying to decide... We have got a good launch. Will that red Metro be going for the Joker? Will he be going for... He's going for the corner. We're going to try and make the Joker work by staying out of trouble. It looks like I am the only one to do so. Okay, strategy. Strategy is at play, and it has worked out well for me now. Oh, although it might not do if I go to roll my car. Would be a very, very FailRacey thing to be doing here at this moment in time, but no, we're going to be good. We're going to behave ourselves and try our very best to work back. Oh, we've caught up to the tail end of the field already, and that's the advantage of taking the Joker lap on your own. Had someone else joined me as one of the Metros ends up in the wall. Oh, stationary car. I think someone broke down, but I don't quite know what went on there with the grey Metro on the outside. Just completely gave up the will to carry on. We have worked ourselves out in second place. Unfortunately, some of that big old time gain, or some of that big advantage we had was lost in the avoiding of the stricken Metro, and also avoiding of the other cars that were trying to avoid said stricken Metro. We're trying to chase down a 205. Can we catch him before he takes his Joker lap? Possibly, I don't know. It doesn't. If we can stay this close, I'm fine with that. I would like to be able to catch him. He's actually seeming to go pretty quick. Those 205s are really the cars to beat, I reckon, in this event. Get the braking right into turn 1. Little dab of handbrake. I tend not to use it unless absolutely necessary. We are pulling away from the cars behind. I've really struggled braking down into that corner. Don't know whether it's across the crests or what it is, but I'm always having problems with oversteer and kind of risking spinning the car down that part. Right, we can throw it in. It's almost... Oh, he's got his door coming open. It's almost advantageous to throw the car into that turn that I was struggling with so much. Wide a line in and really attack the corner, throw the car at it, and that will do the trick. We get a better run down the start-finish line. He has gone, peeled off to the Joker lap. Glad he chose that moment, because any later and we were going to start fighting, it'd be costing us both time. I guess he thought, or I say he thought, the AI probably programmed to take a Joker lap on whatever one it is, but by taking a Joker lap then, he doesn't have to worry about fighting with me and won't lose time in his own battles for trying to get into the final. You know, if you're that close behind someone and you haven't taken, or they haven't taken a Joker lap and so on, there's no point fighting somebody that you're not really in a race with when there's that bigger a difference. Well, I've had a very, very scruffy lap in all of that. I think the Peugeot is up to second, trying to chase me down. We'll just chuck it around the first hairpin and hopefully not do anything stupid. This section, trying to get that braking there is horrible. That is the nastiest corner, I think, in the Rallycross that I've done so far. That is the nastiest corner that I have come across. This one, once you've got the hang of the line to take through it, is not too terrible. But that tarmac downhill bumpy braking zone is a vicious thing that will catch, I'm sure, many cars. I'd love to see statistics on what corners have caused the most accidents around a track like this, because I feel like that one there would certainly have the most spins. Definitely have the most spins. I mean, the Armco barriers towards the end of the lap will probably claim the most bits of bodywork, but that is so easy to have the car spin out of control on. back onto the dirt we go. Nice, comfortable lead in this one. The joker lap on the first lap was a very, very good call in this one, with no one taking it. A little bit of handbrake perhaps to get around that corner slightly faster when we're on that tighter line. You kind of end up falling into a bad habit across that bit. And 2 wheels almost across the line. Solid victory. Solid victory indeed for the 6R4. How many Metros can we get in the final? I'd like to see plenty of Metros in the final. None but me. Oh, we can't have a Metro lockout. We're going to have 1 Metro, 3 Peugeots and 2 Deltas. Well, let us go and continue on to the final. I think my car is probably in fairly decent condition. We will, of course, visit the service area and do what needs doing. Oh, the engine is slightly damaged. That's not great. Clutch has been I guess, yeah, the clutch has been used a fair bit through all of these races. That's the longest fix I've ever had on any of my cars. That was it. It didn't even use half the time, and that was the longest fix that we had to be doing. Again, another dust of the headlights, and we are ready to tackle the final. I think we go for the dive down the joker lap straight away. I think it's the best option. We have the perfect line to be doing it, because we can just fire up the inside while everyone else is braking for the corner. We will potentially stay out of trouble that way. We are off and underway. Who is going to get the best start? Is a very, very, very quick start from a blue Peugeot over there. Is he going to brake for the corner normally? Yes, indeed he is. And no one has joined me on my tour through the joker lap. This is the tactic to go for. This is definitely the tactic to go for, because rather than now trying to fight your way through these opening corners side by side, you lose your 2 and a bit seconds for taking the joker lap and then gain it all back because they are too busy fighting. Well, perfect. We are back at the tail of the field. We get like our own little mini overtaking challenge for a couple of laps until everyone peels off into the joker lap, but don't bounce off the wall on your own. I'm an idiot. Oh, we're going to fire the car up onto 2 wheels. Oh, Peugeot's on the grass. Got to be careful with that. I could end up puncturing my own tyres on a kind of AI car that's stricken there, and that would not be good. Again, we see the similar downside to this tactic is that while I caught onto the tail end of the field, if I get stuck in traffic, especially if these 2 Deltas start fighting and don't joker next time around, the leader, I think it's a 205, will be... Okay, it's got to be a 205 because the only 2 Deltas in the race, the ones ahead of me, and he can break away a little bit, so we might have some work to do here. I can't afford to get caught up in these guys' battle for any length of time. Look at the gap the 205 is beginning to pull out on us. We're going to chuck it into turn 1. God damn it. The cars behind are doing the jokers. I need the cars ahead to be doing them. I think we're still within range of the Peugeot, though. No, don't do that, though. Don't do that. Okay, now we've really got some work to be doing. What have we come up against? Is that a broken down? Have we got a slow car? There's a... Oh, it's a 205. I don't know if that's Peugeot tactics. It's not Peugeot tactics, because he's slowed down the leader 205 a lot more than he's slowed down me. I wonder if it's a car with a puncher or something. There's another Delta out in the weeds and having trouble. That final curb is causing no end of problems. We're going almost inadvertent reverse entries into turn 1. Struggling with these brakes a little bit. I should have put more pressure towards the front rather than the rear. We've got some rear locking issues. The Peugeot is quicker through, I think, the sort of midsection that I just can't carry the same speed that the 205 can through here. I'm doing everything in my power too, but he's just pulling away, although I am quite fast down the straight and into turn 1. I'm a little bit braver on that final corner, and I'm good under brakes into turn 1. Will he be jokering this time around? No, he is not, but I can't make the most of... Well, I can't make the most. I guess I kind of made the most of my run through that turn 1 area, but not going to be able to get a pass done. Just need to stay close. Whoa! He was trying to drop the tombstone on me. God damn it. No, not 205 tactics. Not 205 tactics, and your tombstone did not work right there. dastardly teamwork is going on from the two blue cars. I don't think it's really going to matter because we've got one lap to go. In fact, we might even pass him on track before he even dives down into the Joker section. In the rearview mirror, it looks like a 205 Ute. That would be an interesting crossover. That'd be a very interesting crossover indeed. But, it has been an exciting event. You can't say it has been a dull Rallycross event here. It does look like in the end we are going to take a relatively sizable margin of victory, although that's largely been, despite my incompetence on this final lap, that has largely been down to a number of collisions. The qualifying heats were all going a lot smoother than these these finals. My car's in pristine condition, apart from a couple of bumps, but I think there were some punctures or other mechanical difficulties, certainly with Team Peugeot, through all of that. I don't know if it's going to show. Sometimes it shows. No, it's not going to show the like vehicle condition and so on. One of the 205's got a 37.4, but just couldn't maintain that pace, and certainly couldn't with his broken teammate, whatever was going on with that car. Causing mayhem, essentially. Thought it might have cost me, but in the end cost the other 205, I think, a bit more. And despite their best efforts to throw bodywork at me, couldn't stop the mighty 6R4 from getting a victory. Yeah, Rallycross, great fun. It's brilliantly fast and frantic, and I love the way that the kind of events are organised, the way you have the qualifying heats and the finals and so on and so forth. It's it makes for a really exciting race series. It's a shame that the AI are relatively easy. I've never driven this track or this car before, and we took victory. It's a fairly comfortable margin of victory as well. The main way we would have thrown it away is from me doing something stupid or from an AI crash. I hope we get a little bit tougher AIs because, yeah, a little bit more of a challenge with this and you will get some truly brilliant racing. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.